Well, good morning, DCVA and our visitors. We are so excited that you are here with us this morning for Read Across America Day 2. And so we have a lot planned for you today. We want to encourage you. So today is Team Day. And just imagine that I'm in my Los Angeles Lakers jersey because I'm out on business today. But I will have a picture in the Padlet of me with my Los Angeles Lakers jersey and my sports book that I'm going to read today. Probably about Wilma Rudolph, who's one of my favorite athletes. So, as a reminder, we have in the Padlet now we have our Padlet for Read Across America. We want you to scan it and grab it. Just in case you want to add your information, we're asking for our guests that may be visiting from Facebook or YouTube Live to grab the link and then share the information on social media. So don't forget that we are asking scholars to participate in our daily challenges for some really cool prizes uh, that we will get when we see you probably in-person week in a couple of weeks. So I'm so excited today to bring on our guest reader. And we want to give a big DCVA welcome to Mrs. Chanel Johnson. Welcome, 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 Mrs. Johnson.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Jefferson, and good morning, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here.
All right, Ms. Johnson, before we begin reading today, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Absolutely. So, just like you, Mrs. Jefferson, I am a ed tech educator. I and I started off before that. I started off teaching math, science, in middle school. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia, so we're neighbors. We're not far. And after that, I became a STEM program specialist for my district where I supported math, science, and instructional technology all together. And currently, I work for an ed tech company called Explore Learning, which is home of products like Gizmos, Reflex, Frax, and Science for Us, still in the math and science and technology area.
Awesome. That's right. So, Ms. Johnson there are probably some tools that you heard her mention that we've been exposed to. So, we're really excited about that. And then, since it's Read Across America Week and we're focusing on reading, tell us your journey into your love of reading because we know everybody has a different experience. Me, my parents talk about me 4 years old with Dr. Seuss's There's a Rocket in My Pocket flipping through the pages. But there are others, like if you've ever read the book Miss Brooks Loves Books and I Don't, it takes a different journey into their love of reading. So let's share with our audience how you first found your love for reading.
Absolutely. It actually started pretty early. My mom is an educator and she would expose us and take us to our local libraries and take us to libraries on our military base. So I would go in. Oftentimes I would go to the back to try to find some movies, but she would always rear me back to the front, find a book. Because I wasn't always, excited about reading. So what I would do, I would find books that had movies so I could have an excuse to get both and compare. But through time, I start to find my type of books that I like to read, and that's science fiction books. I love a good science fiction. I love a good time travel. I love a little bit of horror. And currently, as an adult, I'm actually in a book club with girls that I went to middle school with. We reconnected on Facebook. Someone put it out there. Hey, who wants to start a book club? And there are about 7 of us. And what we do now, because we all have different styles, like Miss Jefferson said, we all get an opportunity to choose our book and we get to read our book. Everyone will read the book that someone selected, and we'll come and meet over coffee or over some good treats and we'll discuss the book. So it's really fun and I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right. So it is reading time. So if you will share what you're reading with scholars, and Miss Johnson has a little surprise for us this week today. So it's going to be really important that we listen because she is a teacher at heart, and so she's going to have questions for us to answer as she's reading her book. So Miss Johnson, if you'll share your book and what you want scholars to do as they're listening.
Absolutely. So, the name of the book we're reading today is Something, there we are, Something to Say. And what I want us to listen to as I'm reading, I want you to listen to character traits. I want you to be able to describe things about the main character. I'm probably going to ask some questions that you've heard your teachers ask before about point of view, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to read an overview of the book, and then I'm going to read a couple chapters, and as I read a couple of the chapters, I'll stop in between and ask questions. So again, really listening to listening for those character traits, what you can tell me about our main character. All right, let's get started. So, giving you the overview first. There we go. Something to Say by Lisa Moore Remy. 11-year-old Janae doesn't have any friends, and she's fine with that. She's so good at being invisible in school, it's almost as if she has a superpower, like her idol, Astrid Dane. Then a new student shows up at school, a boy named Aubrey. Janae can't figure out why he keeps popping up everywhere she goes. The more she tries to push him away, the more he seems determined to be her friend. Now, have you met anyone like that? But when the two are paired up for a class debate about the proposed name change for their school, Janae knows this new friendship has an expiration date. I wonder why. There's just one problem. Janae will do almost anything to avoid speaking up in front of an audience, including risking the first real friendship she's ever had. So this overview is extremely loaded and hopefully gives you a little bit of an overview of our character, Janae. All right, let's get started. The first day of school comes too soon, and I'm trying to hold it off by savoring a piece of cinnamon toast. Until today, I've been excited about starting junior high. Elementary school was okay, but it was starting to feel like a shirt that had gotten shrunk in the wash, tight around the neck and arms, too snug and short. I figured junior high might be more comfortable. More space to spread out and find a nice empty spot to fade into. But now that the first day is here, I'm nervous. There will be a bunch of people I don't know, and they'll need to put me in some kind of box, the way people like to do. Everyone thinks you're supposed to fit in somewhere, be a type of thing. I just want to be left alone. It's about time to go, Janae, Mama says and jangles her keys at me. Big day. I just need to grab my bag and then I'm ready. Some crumbs and butter slide down my chin, and I wipe them off with the back of my hand. Why aren't you wearing that new sweater we got? It's cute and it costs almost a grip, too. So don't be telling me it doesn't fit right. The amount of glitter on that sweatshirt should be illegal. I want to save it, not look like I was trying too hard on the first day. I meant to say it like a statement, sounds strong, but it's hard to give that attitude when mama is looking at me like I don't make any sense. Like I'm the wrong shaped piece in the puzzle she's trying to put together. So I'm gonna stop here for a quick moment. Think about how you felt on the first day of school. If you're in middle school, think about how you felt on the first day of school. Think about what you wanted to wear and discuss with your class or even share in the chat. How did you feel on the first day of school?
All right, scholars, we have our first question that focuses on how we felt on the first day of school. And you're going to add your answer to the chat with your teachers. And teachers, we're asking for you to share one response from your classmates, from your scholars. If you will, and give credit, because we do have a couple of prizes that we want to give out. And while we're waiting, I think I'm going to share. I have a first day of school every year. This is my 47th.
Woo!
I've had 47 first day of schools. Don't, well, no, maybe. Yeah, probably just about. And
You had a
even as a teacher, or a principal, I still get nervous on the first day of school. I can't sleep at night. I'm thinking about all the things that have to be done. And you know what? Every single time you all come in for in-person days, I feel that same way. Nervous, but excitement too. All right. So we've got some great answers that are showing up on the screen. And we're
Yeah.
gonna document those and great job scholars for sharing. And we're gonna let Miss Johnson continue the rest of her book.
Oh, someone said they felt normal. All right. Well, to add to that, I didn't fit in. Wow. On the first day of school, I am always excited. I probably would have wore my glitter sweater because on the first day of school, I'm making a statement. I'm wearing my cutest outfit, my cutest book bag, my notebooks are all together, and I'm excited to see everyone and meet new people. Let's get back to it. Go on and get your bag then, Mama says. I rush upstairs. I still can't believe I have it. An Astrid Dane bag. And Mama doesn't even know. When we went school clothes shopping, I saw it just hanging there on the wall of backpacks. A pale yellow messenger style bag with tiny clocks. It doesn't say Astrid Dane on it, luckily, or Mama would have never let me get it. But a true Astrid Dane fan would know. I had to act casual, like I didn't care whether I got it or not. Mama humped at the price, but then said, okay. I sling the bag over my shoulder and stare at myself in my mirror. Mama acts like new clothes are going to change my life, but I don't think they make a difference. All I see is plain old me: brown skin, poofy hair, wide brown eyes, short, pokey elbows and knees, but a pudgy middle. The bag doesn't make me look any different either, but it makes me feel better. Like maybe junior high won't crush me. Janae, Mama calls from downstairs, and I hustle out of my room. But when I pass by Malcolm's door, I can hear the pulsing boom, ba boom, one of his hip hop songs. So I know he's awake. I wish there weren't any sounds coming from his room. It should be silent, and he should still be away at college, happy and whole. But I ruined everything. Hmm. Watching him lying on the basketball court, rocking back and forth in pain, was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. I had wanted him home so badly. The thought had blasted out of me. Come home. I should have known thinking that super hard would cause something awful to happen. I should have learned from the first time. I knock on his door and his music goes off and he says, "What?" I open the door slowly. Malcolm's room isn't tidy like mine. His room is a mess. Clothes are all over the floor, and dirty plates are on his dresser. His trash can is overflowing, and honestly, his room stinks. Mama must never come in here because she would throw a fit if she saw how gross it was. I'm leaving for school, I say. I just wanted to say bye. Malcolm's lying in bed like it's the weekend. Remember what I told you, he says. Cafeterias are for chumps. Eat outside, like in the quad, all right? Malcolm took me around the school last week so I would know where all my classes were. It made me feel bad because I'm trying to fix him. He's not supposed to be helping me. I'll eat I'll eat outside, I say, not admitting I have no plans to sit in the quad. I try to think of something, anything I could say to make him feel like getting started on a new plan. Malcolm, I can't think of a solitary thing. I'm going to stop here for a moment and ask you a question about Malcolm. Who do you think Malcolm is? Who do you think Malcolm is? Who do you think Malcolm is to Janae? They live in the same house. All right. That's a good prediction. He's a boy. Yes. Could be a brother. A meanie. Ooh. Okay. Those are some good. Her brother. Okay. Some good answers there. We'll have to keep reading, and you'll have to keep reading on your own to figure out. A messy person. Tristan, I bet you have some evidence to support that. All right. Great answers. We're going to keep reading. Maybe he knows I have nothing to offer because he doesn't even ask me what I'm going to say. He just turns his music back on and grimaces as he gets into a different position. You better get going, he says, and almost smiles at me. I miss Malcolm's smiles. I leave his room disappointed with myself. How am I going to make him feel better? I can't even think of how to get him out of bed. The house is strangely quiet as I make my way downstairs. G is retired from his job as a mail carrier, but he still likes to get up early, and as soon as he's dressed and he's had his cup of coffee with so much sugar in it it's too sweet for me, he starts watching television. But he's left for Vegas last night. Mama had tons to say about it. Old folks driving late at night. But that didn't stop G. He has two favorite things: watching westerns and getting the heck out of Dodge. That's what G calls it when he takes one of his trips or even when he just walks around the block. He says someone who spent as much time walking around outside as he did delivering mail has to get going every once in a while. It's no big surprise that his expression about getting out of Dodge comes straight from an old Western. Even though when he's home, he tries to rupture our eardrums with the volume of the TV, as soon as he's gone, the house is too still. Like it's holding its breath, just waiting for him to come back. A little background: G is Janae's grandfather. And we'll read one final chapter and I'll ask the question. The way it used to be. When we get to the first main street, as soon as Mama puts on her blinker to turn left, my chest squeezes in. I look behind us at the way we used to go when I was still in elementary school. I wipe the sweat off my nose and face, back around, watching the road coming at us. Mama always drives me to school to make sure I'm not late, and so I don't get sweaty. But she lets me walk home. It's not very far, so before I'm ready, Mama's joining the long line of cars pulling into the drop off zone. A bunch of people are lined up along the zone, handing out flyers to all the drivers. Now, what is this foolishness? Mama mutters and pushes the button to lower her window. A tall woman with a face full of freckles and smiles and hands Mama the bright blue piece of paper. I see, say no to name change, written big and bold on the top. Ain't people got better things to do? Mama says once the woman steps away from our car. What's it about? I ask, trying to read the paper that's getting all crumbled in Mama's hand. We're waiting for our turn to move up in the drop off line, so Mama glances at the flyer. She says and shakes her head. Looks like folks are talking about changing the name of the school. A driver behind us toots their horn, and Mama turns and glares at them, and then she moves up. G's not gonna like that, I say. My school's name is John Wayne Junior High. It's named after a movie star who lived a long time ago. He made a whole bunch of Western movies, so of course my grandpa loves him. John Wayne movies are probably his favorite. G calls him the Duke. Shoot, it probably won't happen. Not with all these people having a conjunction over it, Mama says. We've reached the drop-off area, so Mama leans over, putting her cheek close to me. Go ahead and get going before you're late. I give her a kiss goodbye, making sure I don't smudge her makeup, take a deep breath, and climb out of the car. There's so much buzzy energy around me. I feel like I'm going to get stung. All sorts of people laughing, calling out to each other, doing coordinating, clapping dance moves. It's not at all hard to imagine that I have landed on an alien planet. Girls hug and act like they haven't seen each other in years. No one rushes up to me to give me a hug. No one even sees me. And I'm totally fine with that. Question. Now that she's getting out of the car, how do you think Janae's feeling right now? How do you think she feels right now? Okay, she's feeling pretty good. Okay, feeling nervous. Some of these feelings seem very similar to how some of us shared. Left out. Okay. Relieved. Excellent. Ivy says alone. These are good answers. We're going to read our last chapter and then we'll have one last question and then we're going to say goodbye. Okay? All right. Last chapter. Thank you, Jordan. Lonely. I walk so slowly to my first period. I get to class just before the tardy bell. Uh-oh. Take your seat, please, our history teacher, Mrs. Crawford says, sighing at me like she's already convinced I'm going to be a problem. She points to the desk in the very back. That's exactly where I want to sit. Just because I'm quiet, people think I'm going to be one of those teacher pet type kids sitting in the front row, raising my hand all the time and having my homework all ready to turn in. Mama gets mad when she sees a bunch of satisfactories on my report cards instead of excellence, as if satisfactory is a bad thing. I shuffle to the back and take the seat next to Jeffrey Mingus. He doesn't look up. Jeffrey and I have gone to the same school since kindergarten, but I think I'm the only one of us that knows that. On the other side of me is a boy I don't know. He has red hair that is so bright it practically burns my eyes. Red hair isn't all that unusual, but this shade is. What's even more unusual is even though the boy is light skinned, he's definitely black. And I've never known anyone black to have hair that color. I mean, it's the princess in Brave Red. He also has a yellow messenger bag with little clocks on it. I swallow so hard I almost choke. I set my bag on the floor on Jeffrey's side, not wanting Red Hair Boy to see it. It feels awkward, like we know each other somehow. He's smiling at me so big it freaks me out, so I ignore him and pull out my notebook and pencil. Red Hair taps my desk. What's your name? I look over at Jeffrey. Maybe he told Red Hair to bother me, but Jeffrey doesn't seem like he's paying attention to me or anything else. He's slouching his seat, rubbing one of his ears, and making little sounds to whatever music he's rolling out of his head. Janae, I say as softly as I can, but Miss Crawford still glares at me. It's as if Red Hair turned a big spotlight on me. I adjust my ponytail and sweat sprouts in my underarm. Darn, I'm a big time sweater, like seriously. And Mama was nice enough to tell me I have stinky stress sweats, and not even deodorant can fix that. I have to get to the bathroom quick and use the wipes Mama pushed in my bag before the stink latches onto me, and he has labeled me with some awful nickname. It's hard to stay invisible if you're stinky everywhere you go. I'm certain it's too early in the period for me to get excused to the bathroom. So I slow my breathing and try to calm myself in the hope that if I stop stressing, I'll stop stinking. Red Hair is drawing instead of taking notes, and I can't help glancing at his paper and shocked and a little amazed that not only is he drawing a picture of Astrid Dane, but it's also actually good. He's got some massive explosion of hair and wide eyes and a sneaky smile. All right. We have a new character here. We have a new character. And our last question. How do you think this character is a little different than Janae? Just from what we read, could you tell some differences between Janae and our new boy? Oh, he's an artist. Yes. He has red hair. No, more energetic. I saw he had his red hair. Absolutely. He likes to communicate. That's pretty brave to be the new kid, right? The new boy is odd. That's pretty brave. He's always happy. Ooh, he's more of an extrovert. Okay. She's an extrovert. He's an extrovert. Great. Great comparison and contrast. Good job. Good job. And I'll leave with one question, and I hope he's not trying to be invisible. Absolutely. Good answers. Good answers. I'll show the book one more time because this is an amazing book. Something to say. And I hope that you continue to read and tell me more about what you read. And think about you for a moment who you are in this book. Are you more like Janae, or are you more like our new kid, our mystery red hair new kid? In the next chapter, you'll learn his name. So I'm going to save that for you for later. I hope you enjoyed these few chapters that we read together, and you all did an amazing job answering the questions.
Okay, for some, are you all able to hear me?
It's a little delayed.
Okay. All right. At this time, we want to make sure that you share one thing that you have learned, that resonated with you out of the reading on today. Okay. When she read this book, I could, it took me back to my childhood, my first days. Being every night before school, I would always become nervous. But you know what? I can remember us having to, you be so excited because you got a new outfit and you want to make sure that you everything match, new book bag and whatnot. But then also came the fact that you were entering a new school. How were the teachers going to be? Or were any of your new friends going to be there? Were you going to be able to make new friends? Are any of your old friends there? So this book has really been, it took me back. It took me way back. All right. So at this time, please go ahead and share. All right. We'll type that in chat.
Miss Bradley, were you the introvert or the extrovert at school?
Introvert. Introvert. I was the
See,
one
I would
that
have been
didn't.
tapping your desk. Hey,
You were the extrovert, huh?
still am.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to repeat myself. So in the chat, make sure you share one thing that stood out to you from today's reading. All right. We want to thank you, Ms. Johnson, for joining us today and reading the book, Something to Say. And thank you for our participants who have tuned in from all over. All right. Now, don't log off yet because we've got today's challenge and we need to tell you what the challenge is for Monday. All right. I'm going to share some of those comments. It's okay to be nervous on our first day of school because many kids feel this way. And that is so true. Miko said, it is okay to be different.
Absolutely.
All right. Alex said the book is nice and funny. Okay.
Well, I hope you finish it.
Yes, definitely. We learned that everybody is different, and that's okay. We have to appreciate others, the differences between one another. All right. Landon also said that it's okay to be different. So quite a few of us, the comments that we're seeing is saying that it's okay to be different. All right. Says it's okay to be good. This particular student says it's very relatable, especially going from elementary to middle school, junior high, definitely. And this particular class, Ms. Thomason says we can see ourselves in one of the characters.
Wow, good.
Oh wow. This particular scholar said it's okay not to fit in. That is so true. That's the difference. Oh wow. And here we have Elena. I learned that I can be nervous on the first day of school because there will be new people.
Good.
All right. You all had some great answers. You had some great answers. All right, let's talk about today's challenge. Today's challenge is for you to take a picture of you reading a sports book while wearing a jersey from your favorite team. And we would like you to upload that to the Padlet. All right. And here you have the information. All right. And last but not least, let me tell you what Monday's challenge is, and then we're going to log off, okay? Monday's challenge is for us to we positively love books. You're to take a picture of yourself reading a book while wearing a shirt with a positive message. Again, we thank you, Ms. Johnson, for sharing something to say with us. And we thank you, our scholars, for actually participating with us on today. And we look forward to reading the rest of this book. You all have a great DCVA day.
Thank you. Bye bye.